Hello and welcome to Time Warner Cable Community Connection. I'm Beth Wilson. Well, if you're the parent of a teenager, you know how important it is to give them every opportunity, every advantage, from their education to their extracurriculars to, for some, a strong spiritual foundation. But how do you teach emotional intelligence? There is an organization here in North Texas that is doing that very thing. Leslie Palmer is from Quest Teen Leadership and joins us to talk about the Q Way. Hi, Leslie.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Well, I'm anxious to hear what the Q Way is, but before we get there, let's talk about what it's like to be a teen in today's world. It's not the same as it was 5 years ago or 20 years ago.
No, not at all. They're facing challenges that we didn't face growing up, and they get to have every advantage. Bill Gates Foundation will tell us that 1 out of 3 teens will drop out of high school. 1 out of 3. I mean, do you realize the effect that will have on our economy? And that 1 in 12 teens in high school will attempt suicide. 1 in 12. That bullying is a huge issue right now, that 30% of kids going to middle and high school do not feel safe and have either been the target of bullying or are bullies. So all of these risk factors that teens are dealing with right now have to do with emotional intelligence or the lack thereof. So emotional intelligence, it was a book written by Daniel Goleman, Dr. Daniel Goleman, 10 years ago, and it addresses the ability to manage your emotions, to motivate yourself, to listen, to really be able to listen to other people. So people that are successful in our world these days are not necessarily those with high IQs, but people that have emotional intelligence.
The number one, used to call that street smarts.
Street smarts, or the ability to be with people.
What is the best way to teach that? I mean, how do you get that across to a teenager?
Well, what we use is experiential learning. So you can talk about how cool emotional intelligence is and all these tools that will have them succeed in life, but what do you do with a teen? You can't give them a book to read about it. An adult would read a book, or to even listen to a lecture. So what we use at Quest is experiential learning, which is learning by doing. It's like how you learn to ride a bike. Once you learn that way, you never forget. You can put your hands on a handlebar and know instinctively what to do. So in our trainings, they get to learn how to be empathetic, to experience listening, to experience motivating yourselves in our 19-hour training. So that's why it's just so tremendously impactful to them.
So they go through kind of mock scenarios in order to understand this, and then are they kind of critiqued in a way on how they handled it and how they maybe could have better handled the situation? Is that what's going on?
It's skits and role plays and games that are really metaphors for life in this intense training. And part of experiential learning is to provide a safe judgmental environment, a safe non-judgmental environment.
So there's nothing critical. There are no critical remarks made about what they're doing. That was my bad saying that. Well, let me ask you this. When a kid goes through this 19-hour training, what do they say when they come out the other side?
They don't want to leave.
Really?
They do not want to leave. Coming in the door, the parents may make them more or less, but they have such improved grades and self-esteem. We have surveys of the school that we actually did an entire training. We trained a school in Lake Worth with 500 youth. And the surveys coming back, the reports are that 54% increase in self-esteem. So they get to be comfortable in their skin.
I guess life feels more calm for them in a way, because for a lot of kids, life isn't calm these days.
No.
If you have both parents working, or you're over involved in extracurriculars or school or things like that. So I would imagine that just knowing you're your own base and being able to calm yourself is a large part of that self-esteem.
Absolutely. Our choices create our life, and everything is a choice, every moment. So they learn that life doesn't happen to them. It doesn't matter where they come from or what experience they've had, that moving forward is their choice. And then what's their vision? What do they want to be, do, and have? And knowing that they can create it. They're amazing and perfect.
That's amazing. So that's the Q Way. Leslie, it's a great idea. I know you founded it, so more power to you.
Thank you.
And I hope you train a lot of kids in 2007.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And thank you for Time Warner Cable Community Connection. I'm Beth Wilson. We appreciate you watching and hope you have a good rest of the day.